Spider-Man Brand New Day is one of the most highly anticipated superhero movies of 2026, bringing back Tom Holland as Peter Parker after the emotional ending of Spider-Man No Way Home. This new chapter is expected to focus on a more mature and isolated Peter, who now lives in a world where nobody remembers his identity. Unlike the multiverse-heavy chaos of previous films, Brand New Day reportedly returns to a grounded New York setting with street-level crime, emotional struggles, and intense action sequences. The movie is rumored to introduce darker villains while also featuring crossover appearances from characters like Punisher and Hulk, creating massive excitement among Marvel fans. The title itself references the famous Marvel Comics storyline where Peter Parker rebuilds his life from the beginning, suggesting a fresh start for the character. Fans are especially excited about the possibility of seeing a stronger, more independent Spider-Man balancing loneliness, responsibility, and heroism. With high-budget action, emotional storytelling, upgraded suits, and spectacular web-swinging sequences, Spider-Man Brand New Day could become one of the biggest Marvel blockbusters of the year and a major turning point for the future of the Spider-Man universe. Godzilla Minus One became one of the most surprising and critically acclaimed monster movies in recent years, and fans are now eagerly waiting to see how the franchise continues in 2026. Set in post-World War II Japan, the film presents Godzilla not just as a giant creature, but as a terrifying symbol of destruction, fear, and national trauma. Unlike many modern kaiju films that focus mainly on spectacle, Godzilla Minus One combines emotional storytelling, human survival, and realistic horror with breathtaking visual effects. The movie follows ordinary people trying to rebuild their lives after the war while facing an unstoppable monster that pushes Japan into even deeper devastation, minus one from absolute zero. What makes the film stand out is its dark atmosphere, emotional depth, and terrifying portrayal of Godzilla as a true force of nature rather than a superhero-like creature. The action scenes are intense and cinematic, featuring massive city destruction, naval attacks, and suspenseful survival moments that keep viewers emotionally invested. The film's Oscar-winning visual effects proved that powerful storytelling and creativity can compete with Hollywood blockbusters even on a smaller budget. Because of its success, fans are expecting future installments to expand the universe with even bigger battles, deeper emotional conflicts, and possibly new kaiju threats, making Godzilla Minus One one of the most important and exciting monster franchises of the modern era. Mutiny is an upcoming high-octane action thriller starring Jason Statham and already has action movie fans extremely excited because of its intense premise and gritty tone. The film follows a former special operative who becomes trapped in a deadly conspiracy after being falsely accused of murdering his billionaire boss. Forced to go on the run while hunted by powerful enemies, he must uncover the truth behind the setup before he is eliminated. As expected from a Jason Statham movie, Mutiny promises brutal hand-to-hand combat, high-speed chases, explosive shootouts, and a relentless pace filled with tension and survival action. The story combines elements of espionage, betrayal, and revenge, creating a grounded but adrenaline-filled thriller atmosphere similar to classic action films. Fans are particularly excited because Statham is known for delivering charismatic performances as tough lone wolf heroes who rely on skill, intelligence, and raw determination rather than superheroes or science fiction powers. The movie is expected to feature stylish action choreography, international locations, dangerous mercenaries, and emotional stakes that push the main character to his limits. If the film delivers strong storytelling alongside its action sequences, Mutiny could become one of the standout action thrillers of 2026 and another major hit in Jason Statham's successful action movie career. Dune Part 3 is expected to continue the epic science fiction saga of Paul Atreides and could become one of the most ambitious and visually stunning movies of 2026. Directed by Denis Villeneuve, the film is rumored to adapt Dune Messiah, the next chapter in Frank Herbert's legendary novel series, focusing on the dangerous consequences of Paul's rise to power after becoming the ruler of the universe. Unlike a traditional hero story, this chapter is expected to explore the darker side of destiny, leadership, politics, and religious fanaticism as Paul struggles with the massive impact of his actions across the galaxy.
Fans are especially excited to see Timothée Chalamet return in a more mature and emotionally complex role, while characters like Chani, Princess Irulan, and the Fremen warriors are expected to play major roles in the escalating conflicts. The movie will likely feature breathtaking desert landscapes, massive space warfare, political conspiracies, and intense emotional drama, combined with Hans Zimmer's powerful music and Villeneuve's cinematic direction. What makes the Dune franchise stand out is its ability to balance philosophical storytelling with large-scale action and incredible world-building, creating an experience that feels both intelligent and visually spectacular. After the success of the first two films, expectations for Dune Part 3 are extremely high, and many fans believe it could become one of the greatest science fiction movies of the modern era. Sonic the Hedgehog 4 is expected to continue the hugely successful live-action video game franchise with even bigger action, emotional storytelling, and faster adventure sequences. After the dramatic events involving Shadow the Hedgehog in the previous movie, fans are excited to see how Sonic and his friends will face new threats while expanding the cinematic universe with more iconic characters from the games. The franchise has become popular because it perfectly balances humor, heartwarming friendships, family entertainment, and high-speed action scenes filled with colorful visual effects and exciting battles. Sonic himself continues to grow as a hero, learning responsibility, teamwork, and leadership while protecting Earth from powerful enemies. Many fans are hoping to see the introduction of characters like Amy Rose, Metal Sonic, or other legendary villains that could raise the stakes even higher. One of the biggest strengths of the franchise is its ability to satisfy both longtime Sega game fans and general audiences through fun storytelling, energetic pacing, nostalgic references, and emotional character arcs. With larger-scale battles, upgraded CGI visuals, comedy, and emotional character arcs, Sonic the Hedgehog 4 has the potential to become the biggest and most exciting installment of the series so far. Spider-Man Noir is one of the most unique and stylish Marvel projects coming in 2026, bringing Nicolas Cage into live action as the dark version of Spider-Man first introduced in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Set in a gritty 1930s-inspired world filled with crime, corruption, and mystery, the series follows an older and emotionally damaged private investigator who secretly fights criminals as Spider-Noir. Unlike the colorful and energetic tone of traditional Spider-Man stories, this adaptation focuses on a darker atmosphere with detective-style storytelling, shadowy camerography, brutal action, and psychological depth. Fans are especially excited because Nicolas Cage's voice performance in the animated film became incredibly popular, and many believe his dramatic acting style perfectly fits the mysterious and tragic personality of Spider-Noir. The project is expected to combine classic noir cinema elements such as rain-soaked streets, mobsters, dangerous conspiracies, and morally complex characters with superhero action and Marvel mythology. The black-and-white visual style and mature storytelling could make Spider-Noir stand apart from every other Spider-Man adaptation released so far. If the series successfully balances emotional storytelling, suspense, and stylish action, it could become one of the most critically praised superhero projects of 2026 and a refreshing new direction from Marvel's expanding multiverse universe. Supergirl is one of the most anticipated DC movies of 2026 because it introduces a completely new version of Kara Zor-El into the rebooted DC universe. Inspired by the popular comic storyline Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, the film is expected to present a darker, more emotional, and battle-hardened Supergirl compared to previous adaptations. Unlike Superman, who grew up on Earth surrounded by love and hope, Kara witnessed the destruction of Krypton and lived through immense trauma before arriving on Earth, making her personality more intense and emotionally complex. The movie reportedly follows Supergirl on a dangerous cosmic journey across space, where she becomes involved in a revenge mission filled with alien worlds, brutal enemies, and moral challenges. Fans are especially excited to see Millie Alcock take on the role because her youthful energy and dramatic acting style fit the emotional depth of the character. The film is also expected to feature spectacular space battles, advanced sci-fi visuals, emotional storytelling, and the appearance of Krypto the Superdog, adding both heart and entertainment to the adventure. As one of the first major films in James Gunn's new DC universe, Supergirl carries huge expectations and could play a major role in shaping the future of DC's cinematic storytelling. If the movie successfully balances action, emotion, and cosmic fantasy, it could become one of the standout superhero films of the year.
Next movie, Avengers Doomsday, is expected to be one of the biggest and most ambitious Marvel movies ever created, bringing together heroes from across the multiverse for an epic battle against the legendary villain Doctor Doom. After the events of Marvel's recent multiverse saga, the film is rumored to focus on the collapse of realities and a massive war that threatens every universe. One of the most shocking and exciting aspects of the movie is the return of Robert Downey Jr., this time reportedly playing Doctor Doom instead of Iron Man, creating enormous curiosity among fans worldwide. The movie is expected to unite characters from the Avengers, Fantastic Four, X-Men, and other Marvel franchises, making it a giant crossover event similar in scale to Avengers Endgame. Fans are especially excited about the possibility of seeing different universes collide through emotional reunions, shocking cameos, and large-scale battles featuring superheroes and villains from multiple timelines. Directed by the Russo brothers, the film is expected to combine emotional storytelling with spectacular action, multiverse destruction, advanced CGI visuals, and intense character conflicts. Marvel fans hope the movie will restore the excitement and cinematic impact that earlier Avengers films delivered while setting up the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. If executed successfully, Avengers Doomsday could become one of the highest-grossing and most talked-about superhero movies of all time. The Odyssey is expected to be one of the most visually grand and intellectually ambitious movies of 2026, as acclaimed director Christopher Nolan brings Homer's legendary Greek epic to the big screen in his signature cinematic style. The story follows Odysseus, the king of Ithaca, on his long and dangerous journey home after the Trojan War, where he faces terrifying monsters, powerful gods, deadly temptations, and endless hardships across the sea. Fans are extremely excited because Nolan is known for creating large-scale cinematic experiences with emotional depth, practical effects, and complex storytelling, which perfectly matches the mythological and adventurous nature of the Odyssey. The movie is expected to combine breathtaking action sequences, massive ocean battles, ancient kingdoms, and psychological struggles as Odysseus fights to survive while trying to reunite with his family. Viewers are also anticipating stunning visuals of iconic moments from Greek mythology, including encounters with the Cyclops, sirens, and other legendary creatures. Unlike traditional fantasy films, Nolan's version is expected to present the story with realism, emotional intensity, and philosophical themes about destiny, sacrifice, leadership, and human endurance. With its epic scale, emotional storytelling, and mythological action, The Odyssey has the potential to become one of the most unforgettable cinematic experiences of the decade and another masterpiece in Christopher Nolan's celebrated film career. Street Fighter is finally returning to the big screen with a brand new live-action reboot, and fans of the legendary fighting game franchise are hoping it will deliver the ultimate martial arts action experience. Based on Capcom's iconic video game series, the movie is expected to feature famous characters such as Ryu, Ken, Chun-Li, Guile, and the ruthless villain M. Bison in a global tournament filled with intense combat and dangerous rivalries. Unlike previous adaptations that struggled to satisfy fans, this reboot is rumored to focus more closely on the spirit of the games, combining stylish martial arts choreography, character-driven storytelling, and visually exciting special moves. Fans are especially excited to see how iconic fighting techniques like Hadoken and Shoryuken will be adapted into realistic but cinematic action scenes. The movie is also expected to explore personal struggles and rivalries between fighters while building a larger world of underground tournaments, powerful organizations, and international conflicts.
One of the biggest expectations is that the film will balance nostalgia for longtime gamers with modern storytelling and high-quality action sequences capable of attracting new audiences as well. With brutal hand-to-hand combat, energetic pacing, colorful characters, and large-scale tournament battles, Street Fighter has the potential to become one of the most entertaining and successful video game movie adaptations of 2026. Clayface is shaping up to be one of the most unusual and dark superhero films of 2026, blending psychological horror with the tragic origin story of one of Batman's most terrifying villains. Unlike traditional comic book movies focused mainly on action and heroism, this film is expected to explore themes of identity, obsession, fame, and emotional breakdown through the story of a man whose body and mind are transformed into a monstrous, shape-shifting creature. In the comics, Clayface is often portrayed as an actor who loses everything and becomes consumed by rage and desperation after a horrific transformation, making him both frightening and deeply tragic. Fans are excited because the movie reportedly leans heavily into body horror, suspense, and emotional storytelling, creating a darker atmosphere similar to psychological thrillers rather than standard superhero films. The shape-shifting abilities of Clayface could also lead to visually disturbing and creative sequences where he changes appearance, manipulates people, and spreads fear throughout Gotham City. As part of the new DC universe, the film has the opportunity to present a more mature and experimental style of storytelling that separates it from typical comic adaptations. If executed well, Clayface could become one of the most critically praised DC projects by combining horror, tragedy, and comic book mythology into a unique cinematic experience unlike anything audiences have seen before. Masters of the Universe is one of the most highly anticipated fantasy action movies of 2026, bringing the legendary world of He-Man back to live action with a modern cinematic reboot. Based on the classic franchise that became famous through toys, animated series, and comics, the movie follows Prince Adam, a young hero who transforms into the mighty He-Man to protect the magical kingdom of Eternia from the evil forces of Skeletor. Fans are excited because the film promises to combine epic fantasy storytelling, massive sword battles, advanced visual effects, and nostalgic elements from the original franchise while introducing the universe to a new generation of audiences. The world of Eternia is expected to feature powerful magic, futuristic technology, mysterious creatures, and ancient prophecies, creating a unique blend of science fiction and fantasy adventure. One of the biggest attractions of the movie is the rivalry between He-Man and Skeletor, which could deliver intense emotional conflict alongside spectacular action scenes. The reboot is also expected to explore Prince Adam's personal struggles with responsibility, destiny, and leadership as he learns to embrace his role as the protector of Eternia. With large-scale battles, visually stunning world-building, iconic weapons like the Sword of Power, and the potential for an expansive cinematic universe, Masters of the Universe could become one of the biggest fantasy blockbusters of the year and revive one of pop culture's most beloved franchises for modern audiences. The Mandalorian and Grogu is one of the most anticipated Star Wars projects of 2026 because it brings the beloved Disney Plus series to the big screen for an epic cinematic adventure. The film continues the journey of Din Djarin, the mysterious Mandalorian bounty hunter, and Grogu, the Force-sensitive child who became a worldwide fan favorite because of his adorable appearance and emotional bond with Din. After the massive success of the Mandalorian series, fans are excited to see the story expand with a larger scale, more intense action, and deeper exploration of the Star Wars galaxy. The movie is expected to feature thrilling space battles, dangerous bounty hunter missions, new alien worlds, and emotional moments that strengthen the father-son style relationship between Din and Grogu. Fans are also hoping to see connections to other major Star Wars characters and storylines as Lucasfilm continues building its interconnected universe. With cinematic visuals, powerful music, exciting combat sequences, and Grogu's growing force abilities, The Mandalorian and Grogu has the potential to become one of the biggest Star Wars theatrical releases in recent years and a major event for longtime fans of the galaxy far away.
Next movie, Lanterns, is one of the most intriguing and ambitious projects in the new DC universe, reimagining the Green Lantern mythology as a grounded detective-style mystery thriller with cosmic elements. The series focuses on legendary Green Lanterns Hal Jordan and John Stewart, two intergalactic peacekeepers who use powerful rings capable of creating anything they imagine through willpower and determination. Unlike earlier adaptations that emphasized colorful space battles and heavy CGI spectacle, Lanterns is expected to take a darker and more serious approach, blending crime investigation, psychological tension, and sci-fi storytelling in a style similar to prestige HBO dramas. The story reportedly begins with the Lanterns investigating a mysterious murder on Earth that slowly uncovers a much larger conspiracy connected to the wider universe. Fans are especially excited because this project has the potential to finally deliver a faithful and emotionally rich portrayal of the Green Lantern Corps after years of failed adaptations. The dynamic between the experienced Hal Jordan and the disciplined former soldier John Stewart is also expected to create strong character development and emotional depth throughout the series. With cosmic mythology, alien threats, detective suspense, and visually stunning power ring action, Lanterns could become one of DC's most unique and critically acclaimed projects while helping establish the darker and more mature tone of the rebooted DC universe. Fuze is an upcoming action thriller that has started gaining attention because of its intense premise, grounded realism, and high-tension atmosphere. The story reportedly revolves around the discovery of an unexploded World War II bomb in the middle of London, triggering a massive emergency situation that quickly spirals into chaos when criminal groups become involved. Unlike superhero blockbusters filled with fantasy elements, Fuze focuses on realistic danger, urban panic, and survival under extreme pressure, creating a suspenseful experience that keeps audiences constantly on edge. The movie is expected to combine explosive action sequences, large-scale evacuations, police operations, and criminal conspiracies while exploring how ordinary people react during a life-threatening crisis. Fans are especially interested because the film promises a gritty and cinematic style with intense pacing, emotional tension, and realistic disaster scenarios rather than exaggerated action. The confined city setting and ticking time bomb concept could create strong suspense, similar to classic thriller films where every second matters. With dramatic storytelling, powerful performances, realistic action, and an atmosphere filled with fear and urgency, Fuze has the potential to become one of the most underrated and gripping action thrillers of 2026, surprising audiences with its grounded but highly intense cinematic experience. Resident Evil is returning once again with a brand new reboot in 2026, and this version is already creating huge excitement among horror and gaming fans because it promises to finally embrace the terrifying survival horror atmosphere of the original video games. Unlike earlier movie adaptations that focused heavily on over-the-top action and science fiction spectacle, this reboot is expected to deliver a darker, more suspenseful, and emotionally intense experience centered around fear, isolation, and survival during a deadly viral outbreak. Fans are especially excited because director Zach Cregger is known for psychological horror and tension-driven storytelling, raising hopes that the film will capture the creepy atmosphere, limited resources, and constant danger that made the game so iconic. The movie is expected to feature horrifying monsters such as zombies, mutated creatures, and terrifying biological weapons, while maintaining a grounded and suspenseful tone instead of relying only on non-stop action. One of the biggest expectations is that the reboot will stay more faithful to the games by focusing on survival, mystery, exploration, and emotional fear rather than superhero-style combat.
With disturbing horror visuals, dark environments, suspenseful storytelling, and intense survival sequences, Resident Evil could finally become the definitive live-action adaptation that longtime fans of the franchise have been waiting for years.